Happy evening to all girls. Today we are going to see new topic, that is from Unit 3 short story. So first of all, what is short story? Short story, brief fictional prose narrative that is shorter than a novel and that usually deals with only a few characters. So, a short story is a brief fictional prose narrative. It's like a fictional prose narrative that is shorter than a novel. It is smaller than a novel because a novel is a lengthy. Okay, it will be chapter wise. It will go many actors in that novel. So, short story is shorter than a novel, and that usually deals with only a few character. Short story means only few character, always deals with a few characters. A short story is a piece of prose fiction. Actually, prose means it's like a conversation. Okay, it will be it's giving a advice or moral. So it is short story also like that. That's why here piece of prose fiction. The typical can be read in one sitting and focuses on a self-contained incident or series linked incidents. Actually, short story read in one sitting and focuses on a self-contained. Okay, it will be what we do self-contained, complete, quiet. Okay, we will sit in read in one sitting itself. Just you sit and you can complete one short story. It was like that only. It was like that only. It is completed within a one sitting and focuses on a self-contained incident. That means self-contained. That means independent incident. Focuses on an independent incident or series of linked. Okay, a continued link incidents with that intent of evoking. Okay, with that purpose of purpose of a recall or a purpose of arouse, a purpose of excite. Okay, the single effect or a mode. The short story is crafted from in its own right. Actually, it was structured in its own right. So short story makes use of a plot, resonance and other dynamic components as in a novel. So if you take a novel, for novel means some rules and regulations is there. Novel means it is a lengthy one, and then it was a chapter wise, and then the plot will be changed in chapter wise. The plot means storyline, action, arrangement is it will be changed in the novel. But in the short story, it makes it's have a own right. Okay, make a plot or resonance, the quality. Okay, it shows a sound. Short story means it's like that only. It will show some effects in that. So dynamic, these are the components of a short story, but typically to a lesser degree, while the short story is largely distinct from the novel or novelle. Actually, short story largely distinct from the novel only. Actually, it's a part of a novel story. If you take a novel means it is more than two concepts, many characters. So short story, it is a part of a novel also, we can say that. So short novels also we can say that. Author generally draw from a common pool or literary techniques. Actually, here authors, the short story writers have a common pool of literary techniques. Just they will use the common general techniques in literary. Short story writers may define their works as a part of the artistic and personal expression. Short story writers, they may explain their work as a part of the artistic and personal expression. Those who are short story writers, they will show their artistic expression or their personal expression of in the form. They may also attempt to resist categorization by genre and fixed formation. So they may also they also adapted a categorization by genre. Okay, but already I told a genre means it's a branch. Okay, in that and they fixed a formation. Short story means like that. How it is a short story means brief one, and then few characters. It is a we can finish in one sitting. We will read in one sitting, focus on one incident. Okay, independent incidents like that. Short stories have deep roots, and the power of short fiction has been recognized in modern society for hundreds of years. Actually, short story, it is the first one, deep one. Okay, it have a deep roots. If you just take a small short story, it have contains many many incident we will find in the one short story. And the power of short fiction has been recognized in the modern society for hundreds of years. Before hundreds of years, they find it that they has been recognized as a short story as a deep roots. This is the explanation of a short story. Let we go to the topic. So today in unit 3 short story, first we are going to see the topic is A Day's Wait. Okay, A Day's Wait, written by Ernest Hemingway. So short story title is A Day's Wait, written by Ernest Hemingway. So let me see. First of all, we are going to learn about the writer. Okay, Ernest Hemingway. His period was 1899 to 1961. He was born on 21st July 1899, Oak Park, Illinois, United States. Died on 2nd July 1961, Ketchum, Idaho, United States. Ernest Miller Hemingway. His full name was Ernest Miller Hemingway. Was an American journalist. Okay, he was an American writer. Actually, he was an American journalist, novelist, and short story writer and sportsman. His economical and understated style, which is he termed the iceberg theory. Actually, he is the one who coined the theory, iceberg theory. Actually, iceberg theory, that means theory of omission, is a writing techniques coined by American writer Ernest Hemingway. Hemingway believed that deeper meaning of short story should not be evident on the surface, but should shine through implicity. So actually, in this theory, what he is saying means the deeper meaning of short story should not evident on the surface. Evident means it's not a clearly seen, it clearly understood on the surface, but it should shine through implicity. But it shine through implicity in a way that is not directly expressed. Okay, so if you take a short story, whatever the concept, at the end of the story we will find some moral or an idea, but it's not directly exposed. Okay, just we have to implicity, we have to directly expressed it, we have to clearly understood in that. So he is the one who coined the iceberg theory. So Ernest Miller Hemingway, already I told, he was 1899-61, started his career as a journalist. He traveled extensively as a foreign correspondent before settling down in Paris. So before settling in Paris, he traveled extensively as a foreign correspondent. Among Hemingway's important works are The Sun Also Rises, 1926, A Farewell to Harms 1929, For Whom the Bell Tolls 1940, Across the River and Into the Trees 1950, and The Old Man and the Sea 1952. The Old Man and the Sea was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954. So, now we go to the title. So, A Day's Wait. A Day's Wait tells the story of a small boy who lay in a bed waiting for death. Has result a simple misunderstanding. Actually, this story, the A Day's Wait, tells the story about a 9 years boy, one who lay in a bed waiting for a death, has a result of simple misunderstanding of a word, misunderstanding of a simple word. He just waits for a whole day waiting for a death. So let me see line by line. He came into the room to shut the windows while we were still in bed, and I saw he looked ill. Actually, here is a narrative. It is an unnamed narrative. Actually, maybe we can consider it has to be a boy's father. The boy's father we can consider. Okay. So the story opens with a line. What this means? He came into the room to shut the windows while we were still in bed, and I saw he looked ill. Here his father is said. What action as was did means the boy came to the room to shut the window while we were still in bed. So he just saw him. He looked ill. Okay. He was shivering. His face was white and he walked slowly as though it ached to move. He was shivering. His body was shivered. His face looked like a white. Okay. And he walked slowly. He can't able to walk also. Those who are ached in a leg, how they will walk. Like that he was walking. Okay. So here father is asked, what's the matter, Scots? So here the boy nickname is Scots. Okay. Actually here, here the characters are father, son name is Scots, and the doctor. Okay. And their pet dog. So these are the characters. So now, what's the matter, Scots? Father is asked. I have got a headache. Scots reply, I've got a headache. Yeah, you better go back to bed. Father is said, you go better to bed. But he replied, no, I'm all right. He replied, no, I'm all right. You go a bed. Again a father said, I will see you when I am dressed. Okay. So you go to bed. I will see you when I am dressed. Actually here when I am dressed means actually cleaned or prepared for cooking. Okay. So what he said, you go to bed, I will see you when I am dressed. After my cooking, I will see you. Okay, this is the meaning for that. But when I came downstairs, he was dressed sitting by the fire. So when his father came down. The time the boy was dressed sitting by the fire. He preparing the fire. Okay, looking a very sick and miserable boy of 9 years. He was just look like a very sick and then miserable boy means unhappy, looking sad. Okay, because of his illness, he looked like very sad, miserable. When I put so now his father said, when I put my hand on his forehead, I knew he had a fever. So his father put his hand on his forehead. That time only he understood he knew he had a fever. Okay, you go up to bed, father said. you are sick. Okay. The boy replied, I'm sick. I'm all right. The boy replied, I'm all right. When the doctor came, he took the boy's temperature. So after, actually his father rang his doctor to, doctor also came, and then he took the boy's temperature. What is it? I asked him. So the father has asked the doctor, what is it? He said 102. So the temperature is 102. So downstairs, so they went to downstairs, doctor and father. The doctor left 3 different medicine in different colored capsules with instructions for giving them. When the doctor and father came downstairs, and the doctor left gave 3 different medicines, different color. Okay, capsule means medicine. Okay, so with he just give the instruction for giving the instruction to them. One was to bring down the fever. Okay, one tablet was the fever level will be bring down, the temperature will be reduced. Another one is a purgative. The purgative means what means strongly laxative in effect. Purgative, the purpose of using what we have to say, bring down the acid level low. So for that we have another one. The third one is overcome an acid condition. When the temperature, okay, when the acid reduced means the temperature will reduce. Actually what he has seen, he was actually highly influenced by contagious viral infection. So for that only he got a fever, that means a viral fever. Okay, so the germs of influenza can only exit in an acid. Okay, so actually he was infected by viral some or bacterial. How it will be exit means in an acid condition. For that doctor gave a tablet, he explained it, and then he seemed to know all about influenza and said there was nothing to worry about if the fever did not go above 104 degrees. This was light epidemic of flu, and there was no danger if you avoided pneumonia. Actually doctor has instructed there is nothing danger, it was all right, but you just take care the fever not go above 104 degree. Okay, this was a light epidemic flu. Actually epidemic means it's just a widespread extensive flu infection. So there was no danger if you avoided pneumonia. If you avoided pneumonia, pneumonia means lung inflammation caused by a bacterial or viral infection. Okay, so it was if you avoided the pneumonia, that means lung inflammation, it caused by bacterial or viral. So next one, back in the room, I wrote the boy's temperature down and made a note of the time to give the various capsules. So his father came to the room and he noted down his son's temperature, and then he first the time to give the various capsule. All those things, what are the doctor instructed, what are the doctor explained it, those things he just note down it, and even the temperature and then medicine also. And then his father asked, do you want me to read to you? Okay, his father is asked, do you want me to read to you? He replied, all right, if you want to say it. He said, this boy said, all right, if you want to, all right, he said. His face was very white, and there were dark areas under his eyes. He lay still in the bed and seemed very detached from what was going on. So what happened? His father is asked to, he asked, do you want me to read? So the boy replied, if you want, all right, if you want to, he said. And then the boy's face was looking very white, and there was a dark areas in eyes. And then he lay still in the bed itself and seemed very detached from what was going on. Actually, detached means something, what we have to say, indifferent, looking very different. Okay. And then his father started to read a book. Okay, here I read aloud from Howard Pyle's book of Prates. Okay, the book name is Howard Pyle's book of Pirates. But I could see he was not following what I was reading. Actually, his father is starting read a book, but he finded that he was not following the what he is reading. How do you feel, Scott? His father has asked him. Okay, just the same so far, he said. He said again, just the same so far. Just same so far. He just replied that. And then just the same so far. How he before, same I am. Before I look, same now also, he said. I sat at the front of the bed and read to myself while I waited for it to be time to give another capsule. So his father has continued reading for himself. He's sitting in front of the bed and read himself and he waited for to give another capsule. It would have been natural for him to go to sleep. Actually, it would have been natural for him to go to sleep. But when I looked up, he was looking at the foot of the bed, looking very strangely. Actually, the time was naturally he will go to the sleep, the boy. But his father is finding he just when he looked up, he was looking at the foot of the bed. Okay, looking very strangely. Why don't try to sleep? His father has asked, why don't you try to sleep? He asked, why don't you try to sleep? I will wake you up for the medicine. Father has asked, why don't you try to sleep? I will work up for the medicine. Now you sleep. I would rather stay awake. So what he said, I would rather stay awake. After a while, he said to me, you don't have to stay in here with me. The boy said to his father, you don't have to stay in here with me. So Papa, if bothers you, he asked him, Papa, if you bothers you, the father replied, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, his father replied. No, I mean you don't have to stay. Actually, he stressed that. No, you don't have to stay. It's going to bother you. Okay, he's just saying some strangely. He's explaining. No, you are going to bother about you. You are going to worry about me. It's going to bother you. Okay, it's going to worrying you. So like that he explained. I thought perhaps he was a little light-headed, and after giving him prescribed capsule at 11 o'clock, I went out for a while. After that, what happened at the time of 11 o'clock, he gave the another medicine and then he went out. Okay. Actually, it was happening in the winter days and then rainy time. It is in the actually it was whole morning from the morning. Scott was affected from a fever and he was still lay in the bed. Okay, so actually these things are happening, and then when the father went out, the time is 11 o'clock. At the house, they said the boy had refused to let anyone come into the room. Actually, the boy is rejected. He was not ready to allow anyone from his room, anyone come into room. At the house, they said the boy had refused to let anyone come into the room. You can't come in, he said. You must not get it what I have. Okay, you can't come in. The boys replied, you can't come in, he said. But his father said, "You must get it. You must not get what I have. So you must not get what I have." He just said, whatever I have, you must not get without allowing me. So he replied that. And then I went up to him and found him in exactly the position I had left him, while white-faced but with the tops of his cheeks flushed by the fever, staring still as he stayed at the foot of the bed. So what happened? At the again he went up to him. His father went up to him and found him in exactly the position I had left him. When how the father left him, at the same position he was lying in the bed. At the same position he is seeing the foot of the bed only. Okay, and then his face was look very white faced, but with the top of his cheeks flushed. Okay, actually flushed means hunting, thrilled, some enjoy. And we can say some those cheeks are pale in when once the fever got, means their cheeks will be become a reddish, so light. So by the fever his cheeks look like a flushed red. Okay, and then staring still he was stare as he stayed at the foot of the bed. I look his temperature. So again his father look his temperature. And then what happened? What the boy is asked, what is it? Something like 100, he said. It was 102 fourth tenths. Okay, he said it was a 102 fourth tenth. That means it is a less than 100. It was 102, he said. Okay, who said so? The doctor. Here, who said the boy said, the Scots reply, it was 102. The doctor, the father asked, who said? The boy replied, it is a doctor. Your temperature is all right. His father said, your temperature is all right. It is nothing to worry about, he replied. He said, I don't worry, he said, but I can't keep from thinking. I don't worry, but I can't keep from thinking. Don't think, his father said. Just take it easy. Okay. I'm taking it easy, he said, and looked straight ahead. He was evidently holding a tight on to himself about something. So actually, what we have to say, obviously he was holding himself as very tightly something he is keeping secret. So like that he was just holding himself as very tightly. Okay, and then take this with water. He gave another medicine with the water. Okay, do you think it will do any good? The boy is asked, do you think it will do anything good? Father has replied, of course it will. Of course it will do. It will cure your fever. And then his father now has sat down and opened the prayer book and commenced to read, but I could see he was not following, so I stopped. So again what happened, his father sat down and started to read that book. That book name is Prayer. Okay, he again started to he started to read, but he could see he was not following what he's reading, so he was stopped it. About what time do you think I'm going to die? Yeah, suddenly Scott is asked his father, about what time do you think I'm going to die? He asked. What? His father is replied. What? Like that. About how long will it be before I die? How long before will it before it will be before I die? So how long will it be before I die? So like that he asked. Sir, so next what happened? It was a bright out day In between of the day night, okay, when he went to outside, he actually went to the hunting. Okay, when he went to the hunting, he hunt some quail. Actually, that situation, the status is very what we have to say, slittered. Okay, because it was a full of rainy, it was a full of rainy, how the trees and everything are looking like a empty. Okay, it's very empty, so that's why it was very, so those if he, along with the dog, he went out and then he tried to hunt some quail. At last he hunted two quail and brought it. Okay, uh, so he just think himself, let me find in the another day. So at the house they said the boy, he has refused to come. Everything already I explained. Now, so what happened? You are not going to die. Okay, his father has replied, you are not going to die. What's the matter with you? His father has asked, what's the matter with you? Oh, yes, I am. I heard him say 102. The boy said, oh, yes, I heard I have 102 degree. People don't die with a fever of 102. Father has replied, people don't die with a fever for a 102 at all. That's a silly way to talk. Father is described. I know they do. At school in France, the boys told me you can't live with 44 degrees. I have got 102. So actually, the boys replied, I know they do. At school in France, my friends have told me you can't live with 44 degrees. I have got 102 degrees. He had been waiting to die all day, every since 9 o'clock in the morning. So the boy was waiting for all day. Okay, actually he was misunderstand that degrees and parameter. Okay, so we will say as a there is a difference between actually in France and America. Okay, in miles and kilometer, how we will find it. Okay, miles and kilometers. So he actually misunderstood the word. So he had been waiting to die all day. So that word makes him as to be, yeah, he's going to die. So that's why he was reacted very strangely, and he is waiting for his day. So his father replied, oh poor Scots, a poor old Scots. It's like miles and kilometers. You are not going to die. Okay, it's a miles and kilometer. You are not going to die. That's a difference between a thermometer. Actually, there is a difference between a thermometer in France and America. If each thermometer is a differentiate, unit level is different. His father explained that. On that thermometer, 37 is normal. On this kind, it is 98. Okay, on that thermometer, 37 is a normal. Here, 98 is a normal. So the boy is asking, are you sure? He asked. His father replied, absolutely. It's like a miles and kilometers. You know, like how many kilometers we make where we do 70 miles in the car. So you like how many kilometers we make when we do 70 miles in the car. Oh, he said. Then that time only the boy understand the difference between. So just it makes a misunderstanding. So, but his gaze, still he was stared at the foot of the bed and he relaxed slowly. The holdover himself relaxed too. He just and then and later his father's explanation, he feel himself has to be relaxed. Finally, and the next day it was very slack. Okay, and the next day what happened? It was very slack. That means he feel very what we say relaxedly. He just and he tried every easily at a little things, so that with that were of a no importance. So this is the explanation of short story A Day's Wait. I think you are all understand this one. Actually, so what mistake the Scott has done means he was misunderstand the difference between a temperature and parameter. Okay, so that is the reason here. So I hope you all understand this short story, and then you all enjoyed this A Day's Wait also. So thank you girls, thank you so much.